Welcome to Dr.So Guide to Personal Instruction Manuals. In this segment, we'll take a look at what exactly is a personal instruction manual, how to create it, and how to use it. What exactly is a personal instruction manual? Well, when we buy a product like an appliance or a computer, we typically receive an instruction manual's guide. Wouldn't it be great if people came equipped with something similar? So by definition, a personal instruction manual is a written document outlining your key personal attributes, and this document alerts others about how to effectively work with you. What we'll see is that it has great value to you as an individual, to teams working together, as well as to the company or the organization at large. So how exactly do you create a personal instruction manual? There are 3 steps. The first step is you are generating insights about your personal experiences or working style. Then you take those insights to begin creating your document. In column 1, you will list core attributes, traits, and experiences. And in column 2, you will identify the related so what for each of the trait or experience from column 1. How exactly can you generate your insights? Now, step 1 is the fodder to start creating the personal instruction manual. This is your brainstorming point where you're generating insights about yourself, things that help to define you. What are some possible sources of insights? Possibly there's a favorite quote you have that really defines you, or a favorite picture or painting, or some critical experience, possibly a Myers-Briggs score, how you like to work as far as your preferred pace of activity, what engages you, what bores you, maybe situations where you felt misunderstood or misperceived. So again, these are points, insights that you develop that will help to feed into the first column of your personal instruction manual. What might be some examples? If somebody has a favorite quote, in fact, a person I know, his life is really defined by this. My favorite quote is from Albert Einstein: imagination is more important than knowledge. I served in the military for so many years. I majored in art. I tend to get frustrated when I don't have time to complete a task. I thrive in high pressure situations. My strongest Myers-Briggs is extroversion. I'm a refiner more than an explorer. I rate myself a 10, fast. I like to work fast on a preferred activity pace. So you take a deep look at these, and then we begin to develop a list of key attributes and characteristics for column 1 of the actual document. So you're taking a look at the insights that you've generated, and you will now turn them into a statement of a characteristic about yourself. What are some key principles that will guide us in this step? One is look for several insights that you've developed from this brainstormed list in step 1 that possibly coalesce around a defining characteristic or pattern. In other words, you see the pencils in the visual. Are there certain points that have like a theme that has come up from step 1 from your insights that coalesce around a particular point? Isolate the most important issues. Items brief and concise. This is not a time to shy away from delicate issues. Again, this document will be used to help others know the best way to work with you. And remember, we're not judging the merits of an attribute or characteristic. We're not saying that one thing is better than another, like introversion is better than extroversion. So what are some examples that might go in column 1? Possibly this person realizes from insights that, hey, bottom line, I really value creativity. I served in the military for so many years. I love high pressure situations. And these are just a couple of examples. Again, we're just trying to let people know how to best work with you. So these are some key, just some possibilities, key attributes. Let's take a look at an example. Physically, the document will be a 2-column document. And this is, we're beginning to prepare this personal instruction manual for John Doe. You see only 3. This is just an example. We've isolated only 3 attributes. Shoot for 8 to 10 different attributes. So I was a college debater, task-oriented, and possibly the judging came out quite high on the Myers-Briggs, so John Doe decided to highlight that. Now we want to take a look at how to fill in column 2. So now we want to answer the so what question. What are some things that will help us fill in the so what? What are some do's and what are some don'ts? We want to alert others to misperceptions. Possibly, I may appear aloof. I'm an introvert. I may appear aloof when I'm working on a task. Provide insight into tendencies. For example, I like to hear both sides of an issue before deciding. This is a time to identify your motivations. I prefer on one project at a time. It might be helpful to suggest a response, possibly the way in which you like to work as far as the communication. Call me rather than email me. And try to suggest several so what's for each column 1 item. What not to do as you prepare the so what's for your particular traits or characteristics. This is not a time to explain a characteristic. So I'm an introvert because of XYZ. Not necessary, not helpful at this point. Expressing a preference because it might hurt someone's feelings. Again, this is not a time to to try to get around, to try to tap into what you think other people want to hear. We're looking at the best way in which others can get to know each other and work best with each other. Or a time to legitimize inappropriate behavior, such as saying, I'm always going to be late to your meeting because. Again, this is not a time to explain how you're trying to get around a particular job requirement. So let's take a look at the John Doe example. Let's continue with developing the so what column. Again, after John Doe has isolated a trait or experience, the so what is, so what that he has this trait or experience, how does he want others to respond to him as a result? He was a debater, so give me evidence of your claims. The fact that he's task-oriented, I can be seen as being unsocial when I'm focusing on a task. These are all very helpful to know to give the team members a heads up about what to anticipate when working with this individual. So now what? Now that you've created this personal document, what do you do with it? This is a time to show and tell, to share it with those with whom you'll be working. Possibly the group will, the tweaks needed. Possibly there'll be additions or corrections. So does that mean then that you will need more time to complete a task because you like to be a bit more thoughtful about your approach? You might be adding that to the so what's. Also, look for patterns in your team. For example, we all have such and such a preference, we do not have anyone with this preference, or we have one member who has another preference. Again, all of this will allow your team to move forward and to optimize its potential. Well, so what that you've created this document and shared it with others? What does this allow you to do? It truly minimizes misunderstandings and misperceptions with team members. Maximizes the impact of information sharing because you'll know, chances are, some communication preferences, email versus face example. Provides insights into underlying motivations of yourself and of others, the triggers, in other words. Expedites the getting to know you phase of group work, and it truly accelerates the speed and quality of decision making. Bottom line, reveals the strengths and weaknesses of your team. So just remember, asking so what will enrich your life every day.